and fly, go.
Welcome back to 24K Reviews. This isn't going to be my normal long review. This is going to be just a little snippet. I need a longer video to do the movie justice, but today we're talking about Dr. Sleep. That's right. It didn't get too much play and a bunch of hype, but it's the sequel, the actual sequel to The Shining, and I just finished checking it out, and I'm going to say, in a time of sequels, prequels, reimaginings, Steven, you killed it. You killed it. I'm going to say your last few endeavors have been high. Very good. Castle Rock season 1 and 2, the way you tied them together. Then for a little bit, you were feeling like a little M. Night Shyamalan to me, you know, with the twist and the horrible endings, but you proved why you still are the king of horror. Okay. So the beep means I'm a little bit longer than I should be. But let's talk about Dr. Sleep. Let's dive right into it. So Dr. Sleep takes place after the exact events with Danny Torrance and his mom at the Overlook Hotel. It's basically the literally jumping point right off. They couldn't use some of the same characters, which I understand, due to years and age and contracts and what have you. But I am gonna say they were close enough that I wouldn't make a stink about it. But that aside, the original Shining, absolute masterpiece. Even though Stephen King outright said it wasn't his favorite, the TV miniseries adaptation, which basically ran most of the time closer to the book, is the one that he likes most. I have them both, but either one left me with a bunch of questions at the end of the Overlook Hotel. Why was Jack Nicholson's picture in the hotel? Did that mean he was part of the hotel all along? Was he a ghost? There's just so many questions that decades and decades later, Dr. Sleep answered, and it answered well. I'm gonna say this movie blew me away. It's in a time of what we're dealing with these movies and some of these crazy, horrible things. It's nice to see real writing, real plots, and a real, subterfuge inside of it. Like, I enjoyed the subplot and the main plot of this movie, and there were some general scares and some general throwbacks that I was just like, wow, they went there. No spoilers too much, but they go back to the Overlook Hotel, and that was good. That was good. Those scenes themselves are just, it's great. So Dr. Sleeps take place years. It makes little jumps between when Danny's a kid and then when he's an adult, and then how he deals with life with his ability. Basically, the janitor who came to him in the first original movie is still visiting him as a ghost, and he's explaining to him in his mind how to create these boxes so that he can fight against these spirits that keep finding him and keep coming after him because of his light. So basically, the shine inside of him, and think of it as a light bulb, a 1,000 watt light bulb, where everybody else is like maybe a 1 watt. So they see him. So after that, he wakes up one night to another person who has the shine, a young girl. And this young girl starts to talk to him using their shine. And like I said, I'm not going to spoil too much for you, but I'm going to say there's a group of people in this movie that they're like ghouls. If you ever watched Supernatural, they're like ghouls. So they find you, these people with the shine, and they feed on that essence. They feed on it. They call it smoke. They feed on it, and it sustains them. So kind of think of them as like energy vampires, I guess. But they're really creepy. And there's some very, very, very bloody violent scenes in this movie, which I mean, it's right up my alley. I'm gonna say I liked it, but I am gonna say I don't think Stephen King likes kids much. His last couple of movies and TV shows, he's been very bloody and horrible to kids. So I don't know where he's going with that. I guess because everybody in Hollywood's afraid to go there with a kid, he didn't give a damn. So I mean, he even killed Gage off in his book. I mean, in a new movie, in a new Pet Sematary movie. So whatever. But these people, they feed off the shine. The one in particular, the main one, she feeds off the shine, and then she tracks them down, and then they basically cut whoever it is open because the pain makes it fear, and the fear makes it taste better. So they go through all of this, and she ends up needing Danny's help. And for years, Danny's been running from his abilities and his life and what went down at the Overlook Hotel, which the janitor ghost tells him, you know, you have to pay something, you know. Basically, I took from that conversation of him saying, you have a debt to pay, you can't look the other way, was basically letting me know kind of where the ending was going to go from that point on. As a writer myself, I understood that. But I will say I was thoroughly entertained, glued to the screen, couldn't look away. Some of the scenes were a little bit slow, but they were telling the story, and I understand that. And oh my God, it's a great story, because the questions that I had at the end of the original Shining, they answered them now. And I'm glad it's decades later. And I just watched the original Shining, and then I watched Dr. Sleep, and I felt like I had a full meal. I felt like I was fed a full meal. I understood Danny's abilities. I understood the people more. I understood the reason. I also understood the Overlook Hotel and what happened with Jack Nicholson. I will say, they got an actor that looks a lot like Jack, and I was liking that, but I would have loved it if you would have used the actual Jack Nicholson. But I understand he's, you know, he's above that, or maybe he's a little bit older, or maybe just declined, or I don't know, maybe we just wanted too much money. But the actor you got to look like Jack, that was nice. That was nice. Because when he was talking to him at the bar, in the whole bar scene, I was just like, I remember Jack having this exact conversation with the bartender, and now it's his son having the same exact conversation with the bartender, but it's his father now. So it was actually pretty cool. Because, and then it all connected. It explained to me why Jack did what he did, why he was in the picture. And it's not that he just went crazy and killed his family. He was possessed by the biggest spirit in the hotel itself. I never really put that together before. Like I thought maybe like the spirits convinced him and he went evil and angry, but I didn't really get the depth of what it was until I saw Dr. Sleep. And we're gonna go ahead and give Dr. Sleep 5 ninja stars. 5 ninja stars out of 5 on the Game Ninja scale of awesomeness. I just had to sit down and do this review, and I had to let you know I 100% recommend it. I mean, if you're a fan of the original Shining, you need to do yourself justice and see where the story goes, because you have to see this through to the end. It's not one of those things where you get caught up and you're just like, well, I might as well see it. It's one of those things that you want to see, because now you realize with The Shining, you've only seen half the story. And watching Dr. Sleep, you get the other half of the meal, which it puts a complete picture together. And I'm going to go ahead and say it was amazing. I enjoyed myself. I will definitely watch it again, and probably a few more times. So it's definitely going to be part of my collection. I recommend you watch Dr. Sleep. It's mind-blowing. And there's a lot of people who have criticisms on what a horror movie is today. This is a new kind of way of thinking, but this movie was based on the old style form of horror and drama, and basically what intrigued you. This I like that they didn't hold back. I like that they jumped past boundaries that today a lot of movie makers won't do. and it gave me an ending. Like, I can't explain how many new movies from the 2000s and the end of the 90s that you get to this point and then the movie starts getting good and then, oops, sorry. The movie starts getting good and then, oops, credits, the end of the movie. And you're just like, wait a minute, what the hell? Like, and they're just like, oh, well, we're going to give you 7 more sequels or 8 more sequels. Yeah, no. I like that they gave you an ending. I mean, there's room for another movie, but even if they didn't, I'm all right with it. Like, I can't stand some of these newer movies where they don't have an end. They just don't have an ending. And the jump scares you can see coming a mile away. Having said that, I did see Stephen King's It Part 1 and 2, the original and then the remake. I'm more partial to the original for the simple fact is it may have not had the budget and it may have not had the studio quality that they did with Skarsgård in the new one. But the original creepiness, the original thing of what made Pennywise fearful, what made you afraid of clowns, what made you afraid of the dark, what made you afraid of that creature, it was Tim Curry did that role justice. And the two side by side, I'm not gonna draw any parallels at all. I'm a real fan of the original It. Having said that, I did like Part 1 and Part 2, the new one, for what it was, but you didn't have to go for jump scares. You didn't have to go for the crawls on the floor or the weird things. Like, you didn't have to go there. I mean, you had what you had enough. But I'm gonna say Dr. Sleep, much better movie. So I am the Game Ninja, and this is 24K pictures and reviews, and I'm just letting you know my review. It's a little short video. It's about maybe 10-11 minutes. I just want to let you know because I just finished watching it. Definitely recommend you watch this one, especially if you're a fan of the original Shining. And a lot of people don't even know what it is. I kind of glad that they didn't call it The Shining Part 2, just like the Joker movie. I wish they wouldn't have called it Joker. I wish they would have called it Arthur Fleck. I covered that in my last video. Like, if they would have called it Arthur Fleck and then at the end let the Joker be the reveal, that would have been so much better. But, that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Dr. Sleep. Thank you for watching. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite bag of snacks. Don't forget to watch these game tracks whenever you need to relax. So I am the Game Ninja. This is what I do for you. Until next time, I'll see you guys.